In the middle of the vast ocean, where the waves never sleep, there are people who work hard day and night to make a living. They are not only looking for seafood, but also pursuing the living treasures of the sea, lobsters. In today's video, we will follow the fishermen through each stage of fishing, from dropping cages, pulling nets in the middle of the ocean, to adventurous deep-sea dives, and finally the professional process of preparing fresh lobsters. One by one the cages rose above the water, and here they were. The results began to appear. Big, strong lobsters, with shiny shells, thrashing about in the trap nets, a sign of a bumper catch. The atmosphere on the boat became bustling. Hands in gloves, eyes focused, the workers immediately sorted the lobsters, bringing each one to the table to measure its size. Only those that meet the standards for length and weight are retained. The rest will be released back into the sea in accordance with regulations for the protection of aquatic resources. This is an important step, demonstrating the professionalism and awareness of the fishermen in preserving marine resources. The traps continued to be pulled up steadily. Under the strong pull of the machine, each batch of lobsters gradually appeared, to the eagerness of the fishermen. Each cage was placed on the inspection platform. Inside were dozens of fresh lobsters, clinging tightly to the net, proving the effectiveness of the bait and the cage placement. Immediately after that, the size measurement process takes place. The lobsters that are too small or not mature enough will be released back into the sea as a way to preserve the resource in the long term. The image of a lobster jumping back into the water is not only a technical action, but also shows the responsibility and dedication of the person working in the profession to the marine ecosystem. The diver weaves through coral reefs, seaweed, and rocky crevices where lobsters often live, hiding among sophisticated camouflage colors. Requires strong lights, sharp eyes, and quick reflexes. Once the prey is detected, with just one decisive movement, the skilled hands immediately capture the lobster, trying to retreat deeper into the cave. Amidst the rugged reefs and dense seaweed, the lobsters skillfully hide themselves, revealing only their characteristic long antennae swaying in the water. Once they have located their targets, they quickly insert their hands into the crevices of the rocks, holding on to the body or tail, a skill that requires absolute precision and no hesitation. A clean catch. The lobster is brought out of the cave with firm control, a result of experience, patience, and courage when working in deep water. After hours of waiting and the arduous process of pulling the cage, it is now time for the fishermen to enjoy the fruits of their labor. The trap cage is opened. Inside are a series of healthy lobsters, clinging tightly to the corners of the net, a sign of a successful catch. The workers gently remove each lobster with decisive but experienced movements to avoid breaking the claws or damaging the lobsters. On their faces are bright smiles. Once removed from the cages, the lobsters are taken to the sorting and storage area. Workers, wearing thick gloves, carefully inspect each lobster, ensuring it is unharmed and still alive. Those that meet the standards are placed in baskets or thermal tanks, ready for transport to shore. Every operation must be quick, but precise, because maintaining freshness is a vital factor in the lobster fishing industry. Under the deep blue sea, the traps quietly do their work. The fragrant bait has attracted schools of lobsters to crawl inside, jostling for food, and then, there is no turning back. When the time is right, the rope is pulled taut. The cage gradually leaves the seabed, taking with it the excitement of the people waiting on the boat. As soon as the cage is loaded onto the boat, the fishermen carefully inspect each crab. Wearing protective gloves, they carefully pick up each crab and measure its size, ensuring that the crabs meet the standards before being kept. Those that are not yet big enough will be released back into the sea, continuing their natural growth cycle. This is an unwritten rule of the profession, both complying with the law and demonstrating responsibility to the environment. This seemingly small step is the foundation for sustainable and long-term development of the marine industry. When the world had fallen asleep, the people on the ship were still working silently. Each turn of the winch echoed in the darkness, blending with the murmur of the waves and the cold sea breeze. No noise, no bright lights, just concentration, perseverance, and practiced hands. One cage was pulled up, then another. Each batch of cages at night was not just shrimp, crab, but also the crystallization of sweat, silent sacrifice, and belief in a brighter tomorrow. In the thick darkness of the night at sea, the sound of the tractor echoed steadily, blending with the sound of the waves. The hands did not rest, working tirelessly despite the cold night. When the sky began to lighten, the lobsters were taken out to be classified and measured. A new day began with familiar work, but it was never easy. These fishermen are not only catching shrimp, they are also nurturing their dreams, preserving their traditional profession, and maintaining the sustainability of the ocean. The rope continues to be pulled taut, the cage slowly rising from the cold sea. Each rotation is a ray of hope. Once the cage is placed on the boat, the sorting process begins. The worker opens the cage, gently lifting each lobster out with his hands. Those that are undersized, have weak molting ability, or do not meet standards are discarded. This is not a waste, but a way to protect the long-term supply of lobsters, both today and tomorrow. The journey to discover the lobster fishing profession ends here. Thank you for accompanying us from the deep sea traps to the moments of diving, sorting, measuring, and preserving each lobster meticulously. If you find this video meaningful and want to continue accompanying us on upcoming sea journeys, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. See you again on the next trips.